this morning, on the way taking my grandson to school, we were praying. And in that prayer, I recall myself asking the Lord for all children to return home to their parents. That none of them go home today and find their parent not there. And then we got to school, dropped my grandson off. I told him, if your dad's not off in time, I'll be here to pick you up. He says, okay. But as I was pulling off, I said, well, what if something were to happen to where you weren't able to come pick him up? He would be the child that come home and his granny wasn't there. And I recall that being the case with my children. They left for school. They came back home. And the granny, she wasn't there. My mom had passed on after they went to school. And then I began to think about my health. And just think of, thank you, Lord. Think of some things that the Lord has ministered to me about in regards to my health. Some things that He showed me, revealed to me. It was a couple months ago where He revealed to me that I had 3 strokes. And I didn't know it. So there could have been a time already where my grandson came home and I wasn't here. Because I wasn't aware. You never know the things that God is keeping you from and protecting you from. That's why I always encourage people to pray Psalms 91. Because you just don't know. Yeah. I knew I was under a lot of strain and stress. I knew everything that I was eating wasn't good for me, or eating too much of it. I knew that I wasn't resting properly. I knew all that. But I had a task to complete. And so I was more focused on the task than my personal health, of which I needed to complete the task. But the Lord carried me through anyway. So now, with my weight being totally out of whack, which could cause issues if I don't get it under wraps. You know, the doctor, they always want to prescribe medicines and all this other stuff, but you know, medicines cause side effects, and then they prescribe you something else for that side effect, and then that medication that they provided for that side effect, it also has a side effect. So now they prescribe you something else. So I was like, no, I'm not doing any of that. I've lost weight before. It wasn't this much that I had to lose, but I can do it. I've lost it before. I'll do it again. Just go back to the military way. Be mindful of what I'm eating. Exercise. Just do what I know to do. So I encourage you. As many times as you have to start over, start over. If you have the strength, the ability, and the health to start over, start over. If you're listening to me, and you're alive and you're breathing, you have the ability to start over. As many times as you have to start over, regardless of what it is. You know, if there's a strain in your relationship, do a reset, start over. You know, if you're having issues or trouble at school, do a reset, start over. Issues at work, do a reset, start over. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, something's going on in there that you don't like, do a reset, start over. As long as you have health, life, breath in your body, you have the opportunity to start over. So I encourage you to do that. Start over.